Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 11th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, we've had negative divergence for the last 3 days on all of the US indices, and we haven't so far seen anything. We've seen no meaningful retracement of any kind. This is a trending market. It's kind of like a trend day, but spread over multiple days. We are just grinding higher. As with a trend day, with a trend day, you can generally reckon that it's finished at the end. It's you really got to wait until it lands. When it does, all this negative divergence will play out, and there's quite a lot of it. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on ES. We've got a weak one fill fixed and a full-size one brewing on NQ, which is hitting one of my trend lines at the moment. On RTY, 60-minute sell signal fixed again. Possible topping action, but nothing you can really hang your hat on. And a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed and a full-size one brewing on YM as well. Interestingly, this morning, the Europeans are starting to join in after days of really, acting as though what was happening in the American market wasn't existing at all. This is actually making a move back towards the retest of the high. And ESTX, we're seeing some action as well. Now, this is a bit of a concern for anyone looking for a retracement here, or looking for a significant reversal here, because as I've been saying every day, this kind of looks like a bull flag. And if it is a bull flag, then ultimately that target for that is up here at 5,100. So what would the American market be doing while that was happening? Probably not going down. So watching this, and we've got a nice looking double bottom here with resistance in the 49.60 area. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Looking at SPX. SPX has gone through my initial trend line here, and that's not a surprise. And we're moving on to the next trend line, which I've got here on the daily chart. I've got another trend line that could be the right one here, and we haven't quite reached that one, but we may well be testing it at the open. If it goes through that, then the target is this trend line here. And this is a trend line I called as a target back in February, I think. So on the basis of this pattern, and now we're getting pretty close to it. We've got to get through this one first. We'll probably test that today. We will see. This trend line here is up at 61.20 area, I think. So we will see. But I'm thinking chances are my working assumption is that we're going to be testing that before Christmas. All right, we're getting up into the stage where this is starting to look interesting against the 45 DMA, 4.454%. Get over 5%, and we'll be getting to a state where I'd be starting to wonder about a return to the mean reversion to the 45 DMA. We will see. Looking at the Qs. Qs, no negative divergence on the daily, no obvious trendline resistance. So I don't have strong measure on that. We did have a short-term trend line here, which obviously we've gone through. This could be a bearish overthrow, but I'm thinking it probably isn't. On the 15-minute chart, we've got 15-minute strong 15-minute RSI 14 sell signals fixed across the board. On the Qs here, I've drawn in 3 trend lines. We've gone through one. We're going through the second one, and I'm wondering about the third. Dia actually has reached perfectly a pretty good resistance trend line. That's probably going to break at the open this morning, but certainly I'm looking at that and wondering if that might hold. I've had that drawn in for a while, and you can see it's a perfect test. So we will see how that goes. But we've got, on the hourly chart here, we've got some negative divergence and actually got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed. On the 15-minute chart, same strong RSI 14 sell signal. So looking at IWM on the daily chart, we're reaching again a possible resistance trend line. I have another one above it, but this one here is basically in the just under 240 or in the 240 area. Looking at the hourly chart, no current divergence. We would need some kind of a retracement really to set up some divergence that showed up on the hourly chart, and we've not really seen any so far. On the 15-minute chart, same RSI 14 sell signal. Looking at DAX, DAX is finally seeing some move to the upside, and I think maybe about to break over the daily middle band, which would be cautiously bullish. And Nikkei is already over it. We've still got the potential head and shoulders forming here. Actually, let's have a look at the overnight action. Yeah, it hasn't changed. We still could be in a head and shoulders here, but I just don't think that's very likely at all. I think we're going to break up over 40.3, and I'm expecting to see the retest of 42.4 by Christmas. And we'll see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at, I know Doug had a question about the SPX trend line and looking at a channel from Feb 23. The first thing I've mentioned, Feb 23, I think. First thing I'd mention is there was no significant low in Feb 23. And it needs to be a significant low really to be a channel. So I'd be drawing trend lines from here or here or here. So this is the main overall trend line on the much bigger picture chart, which I've got up in the 6200 area. This is the one I was pointing out in the 6100 area. Could we reach this one? Potentially, although it's only a two-touch trend line. This one is a much stronger one here. So I'll be watching that particularly when we get there. Could we go through it and go to the higher one? Potentially, yes. But certainly the bulls are in control at the moment, and we will see where it lands. All right, let's have a look at the DX chart. DX is making a higher high. I was mentioning the other day that we'd gone through a major resistance trend line, and where potentially that opens up targets possibly as high as 109.5. So this is heading higher at the moment, and that's not altogether surprising. No current negative divergence, but looking pretty overbought on the hourly chart. On ZB, I'm expecting to see more of a rally here. We've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed, but I'm leaning towards seeing at least a test of this trend line here in the 118.26 area. We've got sell signals fixed on TNX, which are bullish for ZB, and chances are they've got a bit further to go. CL, this nice looking double top we were watching from last week has broken down. That's got targets in the 66.5 to 66.75 area, basically at a retest of this low. After that, I've got an open target at 63.57, and I think Trump being re-elected makes it more likely that we'll hit that. NG is breaking over the declining resistance here. Again, it's not altogether a surprise. I would note in 2 weeks we've got the last big winter roll, which will bounce it up 30 cents. But I'm still wondering about seeing a retest of the low at 1.52 in February to April. So we will see. Maybe it'll go up faster there, but to be honest, Trump being elected is not that bullish for NG prices either. He's promised to basically open the pumps on both NG and CL in the US to drive down prices, and I think he might be able to do that. So I'm not really expecting to see a lot of upside from this short term. GC, we're making a lower low here. We're on an open daily RSI 14 sell signal on the GC daily chart, so I'm thinking this may well go lower. The next big level I'm watching is the possible head and shoulder neckline in the 2620 area. Looking at SI, going lower, we've got a really nice declining resistance trend line here, actually. It's got 4 or 5 touches. That is very solid. Again, I'm looking at a possible head and shoulder neckline here in the 30.3 area, and that's the next big support level. HG, we had the lovely flag. It broke down. This could be a double bottom on part formed IHS, but it's not showing much enthusiasm for the upside here, and probably won't while we're continuing to see downside in the precious metals. Let's have a look at KC. KC broke up over this declining resistance, leaning towards seeing a retest this high here in the 262.50 area. SB has broken under my triangle support, which is a shame because that was a really, really nice triangle. And this is probably still in a bullish formation, and I'm looking around to see when this lands. I'll be looking around to see if we've got a decent bull flag support trend line. CC, gone a bit higher. 6 minute sell signal fixed, but hasn't really delivered anything so far. Could be forming a small double top. Wheat, just trading sideways while the other two have been going up. I'd expect to see more upside on here. But as yet, we haven't seen it. On corn, corn has made it almost to the retest of this high, and that's the obvious next target. Actually, no, it's actually made it to the retest of the high. Possible resistance here. We do have a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed, and we'd have another one fixed here if we didn't already have one. On soy, soy has broken up for a double bottom with targets up in the 105.6 and a half to about 106.0 area. Not seeing anything to suggest that won't make that target. On lumber, possible topping action, but nothing really particularly serious. We're still on a 60-minute sell signal, and these do generally make target. Live cattle has broken down from a double top here and looks as though it might make the target. I've got the minimum target for that in the 181.875 area. On lean hogs, looks like a bull flag forming, slightly under the weak pivot at the moment. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Right, hang on 1 second. Right, let's have a look at questions. We've got no questions. So at the moment, this is trending up. We've got plenty of negative divergence. I'm expecting that will play out in the next 2 or 3 days. But while this continues this grind up, it could just continue grinding up until it's ready to turn. We will see. But I think we're going to get a decent retrace sometime in the next 2 or 3 days. How far that will go, I don't know. In terms of the overall lean, really, it's what I've been saying for weeks in my posts. The obvious lean in November is up. Trump win was obviously bullish. Interest rates are going down. I'm leaning higher. I think we're likely to make that 61 target on SPX within a few weeks, and we could make the one at 6,200 if it's strong enough. But we'll see how that goes. All right, great. Well, my pleasure as always, guys. And I will have everything posted as soon as possible. I'll catch you guys later.